All right, we are live. We have strong storms rolling through the area. A bunch of reports coming in right now from areas north of Danbury where this activity just rolled through. I'll put it in motion here for you, and I apologize if I cut out at all. I am having a little bit of internet trouble with the storms that are coming into my immediate area. You can see Jack's house here marked on the map, but this was the cell or the cluster of cells that really fired over northern Fairfield County. So you can see here, this is the King Street area, New Fairfield, Brookfield, New Milford. These were in and out pretty quick as far as producing hail, but these were mean as they popped up. So you can see how fast they really popped up, and where those purples were, that's where the hardest hit areas were. And you can really just check out the lightning tracker on this as it fired. You can see all the lightning bolts pop off here. Really in this corridor from North Salem to Brewster, northern parts of Danbury, New Fairfield, Brookfield, and then on into Litchfield County, New Milford, Bridgewater, Roxbury. This is the area right now where they're seeing probably the worst weather come through. So if you're in Washington Depot or Roxbury or Bethlehem, into Morris, I know some of you guys do follow from that area. This is where that storm went. So fast movers moving about 40 miles an hour. But that's where the bulk of that hail potential is right now. There is a special weather statement in effect. You can see that here. Special weather statement in effect for, I believe, half-inch hail and 40-mile-an-hour winds. So half-inch hail, 40-mile-an-hour winds, all the way into northern Litchfield County here. Farther south, our greater Danbury corridor. We're not seeing quite as strong of a signature here, but this is still producing a lot of hail. So this is still producing hail and a lot of lightning on the radar. So I can zoom in here. We had that, those big echoes in Brewster. A lot of people commented from Brewster, nonstop lightning. But that's also what it looks like right now from my vantage point in Stony Hill. So again, I'm right here. I'm looking west as I look out my window right now, and I can still see a lot of lightning with this. Right down through the I-84 corridor, looking back towards New York State. So yeah, I mean, I see the comments here. Craziest thunder I've ever heard. And it pretty much, yeah. The other thing is this time of year, when you get the colder air aloft, we can have extra loud thunder. Basically, the sound gets trapped near the ground. So that can happen, especially in the earlier spring months, your March and April and May. We can get extra loud thunder. So that's probably why it sounded crazy. Thankfully, none of this looks severe as far as wind. I did get a couple reports, like Cannibal Lake area. We had some gusty winds there, maybe 40 miles an hour or so, but nothing too damaging. Right now, this is mostly a hail and a lightning show as it heads through the area. So again, I'm in Bethel. It's starting to pop up a little bit here. I don't really hear heavy rain rates right now. I'm sure it's going to pick up in just a second. Again, you can kind of see basically surrounded right now at my house by nasty oranges and reds. And they did issue a flood advisory as well. Flood advisory out for most of this northern Fairfield County area as this line of storms comes through. And you can see right here, actually, latest frame. So latest frame, I'm seeing a little bit of strengthening here. And I hope it doesn't cut off, but a little bit of strengthening here over Ridgefield, Bethel, and then into Newtown, some of these areas that have not seen a storm yet today. We had that storm track through Georgetown and took this southerly route here before, but we haven't seen a storms really yet into this Ridgeberry to Bethel to Sandy Hook corridor. So that's what looks like it's happening right now. Not sure if you saw that flash behind me. Getting stronger and stronger bolts here. Again, if you're just tuning in, places to the north of me, so your New Fairfields reported big weather, big storms. Brookfield reported that. New Milford reported that. The worst for that area right now is over. On this loop, you can see when it blew through there, those purple shadings, that's when it was really, really intense over that area. That has since moved off into northern Litchfield County. Where they're getting slammed right now up into Litchfield, up into Torrington. Saw a couple of people asking about that area. I just wanted to tackle Paul. Paul's always asking about power outages. Thankfully, winds don't seem too significant with this to me. I would say power outages, isolated chance, obviously. We can't rule anything out, especially with a lightning strike or something like that. But as far as damaging winds, I don't think it's a huge threat here. Yeah, Ball Pond. Ball Pond was one of the first areas, Robert, and I'll zoom in for you so you can see exactly what we're talking about. So when that first popped up, and again, I apologize if there's a little lag here with the storm. When that first popped up, Ball Pond is right here. So that's your western side of New Fairfield. And look, it did take a pretty much direct hit as those purples, those deeper shades of purple where the hail was occurring, moved around it. And where you get the hail in these storms is generally where you get those clusters of lightning too. So if you see the small hail falling, that's also indicative. That can shake things up in the atmosphere and can actually produce more lightning than you otherwise would get from just rain. So interesting stuff there. Again, seeing the lightning detection die down a little bit here. Still getting a couple cloud to ground strikes reported even into, that looks like Brewster, but not as prolific as it once was. Again, though, am watching this area here, this Ridgefield to Bethel, for a little bit of strengthening in those last couple frames, and we'll see if anything pops off like it did up here in New Fairfield. You can hear probably behind me because I'm on the open mic. Just had a nice big boom of thunder. We'll see if that gets recorded on the map. But it does look like there's a little strengthening in here into this Ridgefield, Reading, Bethel corridor. So let me know if you're from Bethel and you're seeing anything like that. But let's see here. I'll go through the comments. Yeah, a lot of people just reporting thunder. Yeah, so as far as when it works out, I'll zoom out a little bit for you here. This is the line of the most significant weather that we're dealing with right now. Try to pan over. There is a lot of rain behind this. This is mostly regular rain, a few embedded lightning strikes here, but mostly just heavy rain behind it. That's going to last through about midnight, I think. So we'll get this initial line to work through Connecticut. It should go all the way through. It'll weaken a little bit as it gets farther east where there's a little bit of a maritime influence and temperatures didn't get as warm today. We actually did shoot up to 72 today at Danbury Airport. But as this moves east, it'll weaken a little bit. But this heavy rain behind it, that's going to linger for until about 12 or 1 a.m. And then I think that everything's out of here. But, if you have a dog, and unfortunately it's not having a good night right now, you just got to hang on for a little bit longer here until this thing's able to move out. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Definitely down to do the podcast. I pretty much go on everything. I'm easy, right? Dan's having a good storm up in Dan, you're in Danbury, New Fairfield. I forget which. Bethel, yep, scary lightning, absolutely. Going to start to see lightning. Ooh, Sarah, school delays or cancellation question. Always a classic. Can't get out of one of these without that. I don't think so, and the reason for that is just because I don't think we'll get enough wind damage. If this was truly severe, where we were seeing 60-mile-an-hour winds along with all this thunder and lightning, we might make a case for delays or cancellations. But as it sits right now, really not seeing the delays or cancellations likely tomorrow. Again, thank you. Appreciate all the lightning reports here. This is right now, main concern areas. Really hopped on because of what happened up here in New Fairfield and in Milford. But as this moves northeast into Litchfield County and kind of moves away, the one thing I am watching for is a little bit of strengthening down here. Skipped over downtown Danbury a little bit, so I'm sure I'll get some complaints about that. But generally it looks like right now it's strengthening right here over the Ridgefield to Bethel to Newtown to Southbury corridor, and that's where I start to hear the heavier rain on the roof, and we'll get more and more lightning strikes. I'm guessing pop up right here. We'll see if we get one on the live that goes over the house, but that's pretty much it. Once this moves through, that's all she wrote. It does look like it's not quite as strong as it once was when you saw those deeper purples here over New Fairfield. And again, I apologize if my internet's in and out because we are getting a pretty nasty storm. I'll have to hardwire it next time. We'll get even faster speeds. I'm not sure that would help, but do our best. But yeah, pouring right now. Get a current rainfall rate for you off the. It looks like we're above a ½ inch an hour rainfall rate. So definitely heavy rains in here. We do have that flood advisory that's still going to be in effect through midnight for potential flooding, mostly in this northern Fairfield County to southern Litchfield County corridor. And yes, I am still getting used to the new radar app. So this is brand new. The sponsors are great because they allow me to reinvest in some of the stuff. So these are going to be great tools going forward. I'm really excited to be able to use these types of radars. That was a good lightning strike we just got on the camera. That's what we were waiting for. We'll see. Count it, right? 1, 2, 3. About 5. All right, we lost connection briefly there as the thunder lightning continues to go in. So I'll sign off. Again, really the next couple hours, you're still going to hear thunder. You're still going to hear rumblings. Probably won't be as crazy as it once was to prompt the live video. But that's what I got for you. Be safe. Have a good night. If you're traveling on I-84, it's going to be no fun. So if you are a family member, just, traveling, just be advised, there's going to be storms ongoing probably through about midnight. But that's what I got for you. Again, appreciate all the support and thank you for all the reports. Have a great night.